Okay, my cat doesn't want to use a scratcher but uses a sofa. That is annoying. I understand because I have, this is my office that they're in. It's very messy right now, but this is a very expensive chaise that I sit on, and I've always been really paranoid about them scratching it, which they've never done. But if you're just providing them with, oh, hello, there's Beverly. Hi. That's Beverly's office under the chaise. You want to provide them with many different types of scratchers because just one might not work for them, right? So if you just have a vertical one, like this cat tree is a vertical scratcher, that might not work. You might need to have a horizontal scratcher, or you might need to have one that's made out of cardboard or one that's made out of sisal. You basically need to try different kinds until you settle on one that your cat likes. And you might also think about, like, what is the cat providing that the couch providing that your scratcher doesn't. So what is the type of material? Is it vertical versus horizontal? And then try to find a scratcher that matches that. So hopefully that helps. And then you also always want to positively reward when the cat does what you want him or her to do. So whenever you do see them scratching appropriately, give them reward, whether it's in the form of praise or a treat, just so that you reinforce that and they understand that good things come when they scratch appropriately. And you want to ignore behavior that you don't like, because cats view any kind of attention, even negative attention, such as, like getting disciplined. They view that as good because they've got attention from us. Oh, and Mimi has joined us here at the window for bird watching. Hi, Memers. Yeah, meow. Yeah, beep. What else do you have to say, Mimi? Oh, yeah. So many birds, and the birds at my house see the cat, they fly away. So these guys are actually really habituated to this because we do this every day around the same time. So they know when they see me at the window, and actually pigeons are very, very smart, pigeons and doves, and they can recognize up to 100 different individuals. So when they see me outside or when they see the cats at the window, they know, hey, it's time for us to get fed. So they'll actually all fly in when they see us here or when they see us outside. They know that they're safe in the tree and they're safe up here. The cats cannot get to them. Even when Babby climbs this tree in the summertime, I have e-collars around the tree, which must look crazy to my neighbors, but it keeps Babby from getting to the birds, so they're totally safe, and they recognize all of us as individuals and know that we represent food. So they very happily sit here. They will sometimes even come right up onto the bars on the windows, and the cats get really excited, but they're not afraid of these cats at all. Let's see. How could you tell Steve was going to be able to use the buttons? Steve has always been extremely communicative. He was already like really good at communicating to us what he wanted to do. When he wanted to go outside, when he wanted to eat, whatever, he had different meows and different ways of using his body language to show us what he wanted. And he even does like fake meows, like to get us to come running to him. Like he'll do, I don't know if you guys know, like cats have this weird, like kind of pre-barf meow that's kind of, that's not it, Steve, but it's kind of like back in the throat. And he had learned to do that on purpose because he knew that would make us come running. So he was really good already at like understanding how to communicate with people. So I had a feeling that he would be interested in using the buttons, but I didn't know for sure. And my thesis was on hold. My master's thesis was on hold during COVID. And I had seen the Hunger for Words account and just thought Stella and Christina Hunger were so cool. My PI for my master's thesis was like, this is ridiculous and it doesn't work. Can't be real. So I read a lot of papers about associative concept training, which is what the button use is. It is not language or speech acquisition. They're just associating a concept with each button. And they need to have as close of a like one-to-one translation as possible. So that's why you will not see Steve using emotion words or complex concepts, because there's just no way to teach that or to know that we both are talking about the same thing. So anyway, I just decided to try that because I was bored and I wanted to do a science, and he picked it up super fast. But again, I do think that Steve is, like, there are genius dogs. I do think Steve is a genius cat. The rest of our cats are also really wonderful and great, but they are nowhere on the level of Steve's intelligence. There's Babby. She is 3, about to turn 4. She has feline hyperesthesia, and that is why we have these feeding mice for her, but Mimi has recently started using them because she wants to steal food all the time. These hunting mice I always recommend to cat clients in my behavior practice who have cats who need more intellectual stimulation, who might be a little aggressive, especially if they're having inter-cat aggression problems, because it gives them something to do that is natural, so they feel like they're hunting for their food all day, and it's really good in terms of occupying their time and making them feel like they're doing something that's accomplishing what they would normally do all day. So I find them super helpful, and they're really cheap. They're like $12 or something for 3. And you just fill them up, and then they do exactly what you see Babby doing right now. Just kicking them around and getting one tiny little piece of food out. So they're really great. Okay, what about a love you button? I've seen a cat seem to use it appropriately. So here's the thing about that is, like, when we see button use on social media, and Steve's included, is you're only seeing what we want you to see, right? You're not seeing all the mess ups. You're not seeing when the cats are just smashing the buttons, and the dogs as well, to get your attention, when they're not using them appropriately, when they're just speaking gobbledygook. You're just seeing an edit that the human wants you to see, that presents the human's version of reality. There's no live stream of what the animal's doing all the time. And also probably that the animal associates love you with attention or pats or a good reaction from a person. But there's no way that you could teach a cat, number one, what I love you really means, and then have that cat understand what that means and give it back to you, right? There's no way to do that in science for a one-to-one translation, which is why you won't see Steve having that. I don't even know if he knows that, like, snuggles means pats, or does he want to be picked up, or, there's so many variations. Like, even outside to him could mean the door opens, or he gets to see the sky, or he gets to play outside, like, it could mean so many different things. So when you use an heavily emotionally laden word, I can't talk, sorry, I still need to have more coffee. It just really becomes muddled. And as a scientist, I really want to be careful to avoid that kind of stuff. Even though I know it's really entertaining, and people who have their animals have lots of buttons, they get a lot more views and attention and blah, blah, blah. It's just, for me, I can't do it. I've been trying to teach my cats to use the buttons, but I have a hard time getting started. Okay, so same question. Yeah, so actually I made a tutorial site like a year ago. It's called talktothebeans.com. And you can go there, and there's a user forum, and there's videos that I made. Steve is in some of them. I was teaching my parents' cats how to use the buttons. So if you go to talktothebeans.com, there is a small fee if you want to join and have access to everything. But there's like step-by-step videos and like access to all the scientific papers about associative concept training and all of that stuff. So it's a really science-based approach to how to teach your animals to use the buttons. But a very quick thing that I'll say is to pick your first button should be something that is highly motivated to your pet, but not food related, right? So Steve, his first button was outside, because obviously outside is his highest motivator outside of food. So we used that first, and he was pushing the button within 4 days. So I would pick that, and then all you want to do is to just model it, right? And put the button near wherever that activity is. You don't need to start a button board first. Just put it near where the activity is that you're associating it with, and then every time you do that activity, push the button. And then that's how you get started. Just make sure it's not a food-related word, because if you start with that first, they will have a high likelihood of associating every single other button with food.